What's up, Columbus? This is Mark Madden of CPR, aka Cougar Public Radio. Well, earlier this week, I had the opportunity to interview the artist known as Chris Hamer. And I have to say, he was a very, very interesting man, just as interesting as his artwork. So, what are we waiting for? Here's the interview. Okay, so Chris, you're from Atlanta, correct?
Yes. Born native of Atlanta, Georgia.
I heard about this from a friend, and they mentioned that you do Topps art for Topps cards.
I have.
And mentioned that you have a Star Wars line.
I got asked by Topps to do a Mars Attacks card set. It was Mars Attacks Invasion, and so I did that, and then that led to doing a Star Wars card set. It was called New Hope.
I think when people hear comic books, they always think Marvel and DC. Have you done anything with Marvel and DC?
I am working, currently I just finished another card set, and when we're talking about these card sets, they're called sketch cards. They're, if you think about baseball cards back in the day, they had the random card, the chase card, the limited run card they put in packs. That's what I'm doing. They call them sketch cards, where artists hand draw each card. They randomly insert them into a package, and they randomly insert it into a box. You don't know who you're going to get it unless you buy the whole box. You don't know who you're going to get. Me, you're going to get Mark, you're going to get somebody else if they all did the sketch cards. So it's kind of a bonus to get an original piece of art from an artist based on that topic or theme of the cards are. So after doing the top stuff, a company called Cryptozoic Cards just approached me for doing some cards for DC and some cards for Adventure Time.
Wow.
And then once that finished, I just got approached last week by doing some cards for Upper Deck, and I'm doing Marvel cards. So summer will be the first time I can say that I've done a Marvel or DC character legitimately, not for fun in a sketchbook or borrowing it without permission from DC.
Now, okay, one other question about the cards. About how long does it take you to do a sketch for each of those cards?
It depends on the character, but I typically can do a sketch card, which is just what you think a baseball card size. I could do one of those about 30, 40 minutes. But when you do the card set, you're not just doing one or two. To give you an idea, the Star Wars set that I just finished was 106 cards I had to draw.
Okay.
Now they give you a fair amount of time, a month or two to do them in, but you take into fact that life, family, jobs, and all that come in. It's a lot of cramming at the last minute. And
now, when you say it's 106, they are doing like different copies of each one, or it's just one?
No, it's individual. Like I'm drawing 106 one-of-a-kind cards.
Okay, and so if somebody gets it in that pack, it's a one-of-a-kind
One
card.
of a kind.
Wow. Okay, that's impressive.
And that's why they're so limited, because you don't want to have it where it's not like a regular card. They make it special.
Now, whenever I see your name on the internet, I see the word urban pop.
Correct.
Why is that?
To give you a quick little background for me, I came from a music background. I played in bands.
Okay.
I worked for record labels, and I did a punk rock scene called Little Demon back in the 90s. We interviewed bands and whatnot. So I had a background in music for me, and when I decided to do urban pop and was going to be a full-time artist, and actually there was a point where it was a blurred line where I wanted to be a musician or an artist. And so when I made the choice to be an artist, I didn't want to go with my name. Like, I was thinking of ways to promote myself and ways to market myself. And, being in a band, t-shirts, stickers, things like that, posters all said, the name of your band. It never said your name particularly. So the idea of using my name, Chris Hamer, as a website, as a t-shirt, as a sticker, just seemed really gross and lame to me,
Okay.
So me and my wife were living in Atlanta at the time, actually in the city of Atlanta, and I was really getting into street art, really getting into the idea that people did art for free, put it out there just for folks to see. So urban was a word that was tossed around, and I have a love for pop culture, pop art, popping colors, pop a lot of things, so the two stuck together. But then when I wrote them out as the way you would think you spell it, URBANPOP, it just seemed like I was trying to be something that I was not. So then I changed the URBN, still spells out urban pop. That name.
I like it because your art's creative and it reflects that aspect of it.
Thank you.
What intrigues you the most about art?
It's the way it invokes emotion.
Okay.
I love the idea that you can see a piece and for some reason it speaks to you. My art is the only way I know how to draw. I'm actually an art school dropout. And the reason being is when I went to art school, I was told that I could not draw because I was determined to draw comic books over fine art. Nothing against fine art, nothing against comic books, but at the time it was not me. So when I describe my art, it's me. But now people look at it and they say, oh, well, this looks like a blend of this or this and this. So over the last few years that I've been doing this, we've adapted the fact that it's easy to say that my art is a form of street art, pop art, and folk art. Urban pop is me. It will always be me. I've done jobs for some bigger companies, and when we sit down and we talk, I explain to the client, I'm like, it's going to look like this. If this is not what you want, then I'm not your guy. And I'm okay with that because I'm always a standout guy, and I love that. And that's one of my goals that I wanted to achieve from day one in doing this. And hopefully when you see it in person and you come see me at shows, you think the same thing, and I've done my job right.
I can't thank you enough for coming out and giving your time here.
Thank you so much, Mark. Appreciate it.